Our next presentation comes courtesy of a company with the initials IJYI. Now, I said, well, how do you pronounce that? He said, oh, it's easy, it's EG, like that is. So brilliant, guys. So EG was the joint vision of Chris Pont and John Nicholson, and it was conceived to fulfil their vision to improve software delivery processes and outcomes for organisations across the UK and beyond. Their rapid growth has expanded their services portfolio, and they now employ a dedicated, talented and creative team of experts who work hard to achieve the best for their clients. So now, pleased to welcome the co-founder and CEO of EG, Chris Pont.
Hello, morning. My name's Chris Pont. I am the CEO of IJYI, and yes, that is how it's pronounced. I'd like to take you through who we are, how we've grown, how we've scaled, and what we've done to help that, and really sort of take from that what you will. We are still learning, very much so, and I am actually looking at getting onto the Goldman Sachs program if possible, so hopefully be part of that. So the first question anyone really asks me is what the hell does IJYI mean? And as much as I like to tell people that it's a Japanese word that means awesome IT consultancy, and a scary number of people actually believe me, it was actually a purchase brand. Naming things is hard, and we would probably have ended up with a boring IT name like Global Hyper Mega IT Solutions Limited or something like that. So. But we liked the word EG because we liked how it worked with the Latin for example. So we were trying to be an example of how IT delivery is done. And so we liked how that worked together. So who are IJYI? So we were formed back in 2014 by myself and my business partner, John Nicholson. Now we were IT consultants, IT contractors. And we were working for a number of blue chip organisations, so people like Aviva, Willis Towers Watson, Visa, Virgin Atlantic, those sort of places. And we became increasingly frustrated with the pace of IT delivery within those large organisations. So it was painful, it was slow, it was political, and incredibly expensive. I mean, one of our clients had spent over $200 million on a piece of software. A line of business piece of software. It wasn't public facing. This is something that was used internally. So, incredibly expensive. And the way that we were working within those organizations is we were doing transformation pieces. So we were trying to change hearts and minds, trying to speed up that development process. So we've doubled our turnover year on year. So for the past three years, we've gone from 300,000 to 600,000, up to 1.33 million. So we're looking to continue that growth, and we're setting a rather ambitious target over next year of close to 3 million. So fingers crossed we get somewhere close. But some of what I've just said there is reflected in our values. So we believe that while software requirements can be complex, so the actual requirements themselves can be complex, the activity of delivering software should not be slow, painful, political, expensive, or performed by teams across different continents. But it should involve fast feedback, it should be agile, in close collaboration, and inspiring innovation and fun. So the technology should help to work with the organisation and show people what can be delivered. Or as the stickers that we give out at some of the conferences and tech events say, we can do this the hard way or the easy way, which was a bit of fun, but we felt it was important to have a message that our staff and our clients could get behind, something that people could talk about, something that, and I've seen people walk up to our staff at some of these events and say to them, well, what's the IJYI? And it's always great to hear them explain some of our values, and hopefully explain why they enjoy their job and why they love working for us. So if we take a look at the problem that we were trying to address. So the Project Management Institute, they're a membership organisation. They're made up of IT project managers across the country. And they questionnaire their staff every year. And what they found is that only 57% of projects actually finish within their initial budget. Only 52% of projects actually finish on time. And 52% of projects experience uncontrolled scope creep. So they're terrible statistics really across the industry. And really what it means is every time you start an IT project, you're kind of flipping a coin. So with what we've been doing over the last few years, our delivery track record, everything we've delivered over the last 3 years has been on time and on budget. And that's something that we really push when we take new clients on board, to the point now where some of them are actually parroting it back to us, which has been fantastic. And these aren't small projects, you know, they range in size from between maybe £75,000 up to £400,000. So they're not tiny projects, they're reasonable size. But what it does do is it gives businesses the ability to plan around their IT projects. So if we develop that trust with them and we show them our track record, they can actually plan their business around an IT delivery. So the companies that we've worked with, there's a list of them up on screen there. They are getting bigger and bigger. And what we've found is as those clients get bigger, it develops further trust. So trust develops trust, and it means that when we are tendering for new work and people see household brands or brands that they recognise up there, or we give them some case studies, it does help build that initial trust with those clients. But it does come with a pitfall. And what we've found is that those larger clients are often more difficult to deal with. So ironically, the smaller clients that we were working with initially, the ones that on paper were less creditworthy, they actually paid us on time. Whereas the larger these clients get, the more difficult they are to get paid from. They hide behind accounts departments. They impose some pretty restrictive payment terms, some of them up to 90 days. So they become more difficult to deal with. They also, there's a lot of back and forth with contractual terms, a lot of dealing with legal departments, both internally and externally. So a lot more difficult to get those projects moving. So the things that we've done to address some of that. Well, firstly, we've expanded the board. So there was a lot of pressure when it was just myself and John. And often a bit of a lonely place to be, really, as the company got bigger, especially if one of us was on holiday or working on a client site for long periods of time. There's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress on one person. So expanding the board has been quite useful because it's meant that we can spread some of that load across multiple people, but we can also get a good spread of expertise within the boards. So we've taken on Alan, who's our COO now. He's an ex-project manager. He worked as project manager for us for 2.5 years. He's got a lot of experience in delivering IT projects within large organisations. So he's worked for people like Standard & Poor's and Capita. He's done a lot of deliveries for people like the Ministry of Justice, some really huge projects that have taken a fair amount to deliver, lots of dependencies, etc. And Justin, who's sitting just there. Justin's an ex-Citi corporate banker and an area director for Barclays. He's helped with some of those problems that I've just mentioned. So, helping to negotiate payment terms, meeting with clients, CFOs and financial directors, helping to get the wheels moving with those contracts. We've also found that bank managers nowadays aren't really the same as bank managers were traditionally. When we started the business, we got given an account number and a telephone number, and that was it. Anything happened, even if a bank's online banking portal went down, we'd walk into a branch and get told that we needed to phone the telephone number. So there's not a great deal that bank managers do nowadays. So having somebody with that financial experience on board who can help us negotiate those financial products, help us with what's appropriate, that's really helped. And Justin and his company, Conitus, have also helped us do some financial modelling. So created quite an impressive spreadsheet that modelled our business and allowed us to type in certain variables like how many developers we were looking at taking on over the next 3 to 4 years, what salaries those developers were likely to attract, how long it was likely to take them to get up to speed, what we were going to be paying recruiters to bring those staff on, how much equipment they were likely to need. And so we could really fiddle with the numbers and see the effect that was going to have on our cash flow, on our profit and loss, on our balance sheet, etc. So that's really helped us. Another problem we needed more space. So initially we had an office that was about 700 square feet, and that was really useful to begin with, but eventually we had 12 people crammed into a 6-person office. So things started to get heated, quite literally and metaphorically. So we needed to do something about that. What we found was that in Ipswich especially, we'd go from a 700 square feet office with 2-year terms to 8,000 or 9,000 square feet with 15-year terms, so quite restrictive. Eventually we managed to find the lovely building you see there on the slide. That used to be the Fisons building in Ipswich, if anyone remembers that. And we managed to find somewhere that was about 3,500 square feet on some reasonable terms. Still bigger than we probably needed at the time, but it's given us that ability to grow over the next few years. It's also helpfully within the Ipswich Enterprise Zone, so we don't actually pay any business rates on that office space for 5 years, which is helped incredibly. Our staff, we're a services company, so our staff are everything really. So it's really important that we keep the existing staff happy. We've grown to a team of around 20, and we've taken on various different roles such as marketing, sales, admin, etc. But we don't want to introduce anyone to the team that's likely to upset the apple cart, really. We want to make sure that anyone we bring on board is an appropriate fit for the team. And we've found it strange that often people will hire somebody off the back of a 30-minute interview. You wouldn't ask anyone to marry you off a first date. So why should you bring somebody into your business after a 30-minute chat? So we've extended that process to a 3-stage interview, the usual technical interview, but also a meet the team area of that interview. So our team get to chat to the candidate 2 at a time. They'll ask them some silly questions like what their favourite Marvel movie is and if Star Wars is better than Star Trek and things like that. And I'm still not sure what the right answer to that question is. But it helps them build that relationship before they get brought on into the company. And it means they're part of the decision-making process. So, you don't really have too many comebacks after that's happened. Very quickly, just take a look at the supplier partners that we're working with. So Conatus, I've mentioned, doing some of our bookkeeping, our financial modelling. Enzas, our accountants, and Mad HR, I think Carol's here as well, to help with those functions. I mean, we want to stick to what we're good at. We don't want to start trying to do HR in-house. We're not big enough to have our own HR department or our own accounts department, so we hire people in to help with that. And very quickly, a look at our technology partners and community partners. We've formed partners with Microsoft, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, but AWS, who are a cloud partner, and people like Firebrand, who we use as training provider partners. Also community partners within Ipswich and the surrounding region. We've sponsored various technical events, including NordevCon and DevEast, as well as holding events at Ipswich Library, Coder Dojo events where we're teaching kids from 6 up to 16 how to code, how to build those logic skills, etc. And I'm getting red carded from the back, so I need to hurry up. So the future, what we want to do is keep delivering for our clients on time and on budget. Our reputation is very important to us, so we want to keep that reputation alive and keep delivering projects on time, on budget. Continuing to attract both small and larger clients, and expanding the team further, so growing our existing team, growing the training package that we provide to them, and continuing to find innovative ways to deliver software. So thanks very much for listening. If there's any questions, please do find me in one of the breaks, and I'll do my best to answer any questions you have. Thanks very much.